As a new Pokemon trainer slash student in the Rodize region, I get to pick one of 3 starter Pokemon from the local professor. This log is a video form of my writings about each of the 3. Papana is the grass type starter here. It was introduced here hundreds of years ago and is native to a somewhat distant region in the mainland. While they're certainly popular, many people dislike them because they outcompete the native iguana Pokemon Spinguin, which is quite rare nowadays and must resort to eating food rejected by introduced grazers like Skiddo, Mareep, Catastrophole, Foliage, and of course Papana. Papana prefers to play with smaller Pokemon so it can always get its way. It rests on its back to sunbathe and photosynthesize with the big leaf on its neck. I've heard it becomes more reclusive when it evolves as it learns why people don't like it. Depending on the trainer or the Pokemon's disposition, they may decide to fight harder because of it, or try their best to be helpful despite it. While Papana is quite confident around smaller Pokemon like Spinguin, it quickly becomes shy around something close to its size or bigger. They're terrified of standing up to these Pokemon and will even offer them a bite of its leaf if it means the battle will end. Its leaves grow back pretty quick, so as long as there are a few left, it'll have no problem regenerating. They're very sweet to trainers new or experienced, which is why they're recommended to newbies like me. Just make sure they don't bother your other Pokemon too much. Papana's ability is Overgrow, which strengthens its grass moves when it's in a pinch. When given an ability patch, it'll change to Marvel Scale, which boosts its defense when statused. This Pokemon is only just a baby, so don't expect it to match against strong trainers, but it's known for high speed and special defense. It's kind of an all-rounder though, so even though physical defense is its lowest stat, it's not incredibly vulnerable there in the same way it's not the fastest Pokemon you'll ever see. Unless you're from Alola or something, I don't know. Papana is known for its Leafage attack, but at higher levels it can learn Razor Leaf and even Solar Beam. Its best coverage for early gyms is probably Double Kick, but it also learns Double Slap, Slam, and Dragon Tail. Its best status move is definitely Leech Seed. The Fire-type starter here is Caracoil. It's not from here either, but doesn't do well in the rainy wilds of Rodize. Escape to release Caracoil, especially fall prey to the native snail Pokemon Caracoil and its powerful Aqua Cutter. Caracoil likes to eat moss and fruit, sometimes even threatening Pokemon like Iguacate and Nanopiter. Even though it has a bit of a rivalry with some, Caracoil seems to relate more to cat Pokemon than other snails. I heard that as it evolves, it becomes even more cat-like and gains a bunch of speed as its shell becomes something else. Its evolved forms are so strong that they sometimes won't even fight Pokemon they perceive as weaker. They're noble and elegant Pokemon, so we must be lucky the professor just gives them out like this. Caracoil loves to train and will never shy away from a battle. That's probably why it's given to newbies. It basically trains itself. Caracoil's ability is Blaze, which is like a fire-type version of Overgrow. When given an ability patch, Caracoil will get Cute Charm, which has a chance to make some Pokemon infatuated with Caracoil when they make contact. While Caracoil is just a baby, it's got sturdy defenses thanks to that shell. It doesn't hit incredibly hard compared to many Pokemon, but I certainly wouldn't want to get in the way of its Incinerate attack. That should be enough to melt at least one of the gym Pokemon around here, but some other coverage moves Caracoil gets are Rollout and Takedown. Not much, but it's something. It can learn status moves like Harden and Iron Defense as well, or even Shell Smash at higher levels. The third starter is Chicarron, a water type. Similar to Caracoil, Chicarron were brought over from a faraway region and don't do well in the wild. They are, however, closely related to the invasive Suciedada, which terrorizes the muddiest regions of Rodize without a care in the world. It loves to forage for mushrooms and tubers, with its favorite food being the native Batatatita. Chicarron values its cleanliness and panics if it gets too dirty. Unlike its close relatives though, Chicarron is a carnivore. Its hunting strategy is messy as it tears the skin off its prey using its psychic power. But Chicarron is a clean Pokemon and absorbs its mess like a wet wipe before happily jumping into a bath of clean water. I heard it enters an awkward phase when it evolves and desperately wishes it could be as beautiful as Gardevoir or Milotic. In this phase, it becomes almost obsessed with cleanliness, but after evolving again, some consider it the most beautiful Pokemon of all. Still, some part of it is envious of other beautiful Pokemon, and it's known to be quite brutal. From what I've heard, this final form doesn't mind getting some dirt on it. While Chicarron is probably the most powerful of the 3 starters, it's given to newbies because it can help train them and always make sure the area is clean. It's kind of like a guardian while also being a cute little piglet. Chicarron's ability is Torrent, which again is like the water version of Overgrow and Blaze. It powers up water type moves in a pinch. If you give Chicarron an ability patch, its ability changes to Water Absorb, which allows it to heal from water moves against it instead of taking damage. Chicarron is definitely strong, but like the others, it's still a baby. It can't move very fast, but it has reasonable special stats and can use Confusion and Bubble Beam expertly. For coverage, it also gets Round and Aurora Beam. It doesn't get much in the way of status moves, but I'd say Calm Mind is notable. I ended up picking Caracoil while my friend Lena picked Papana. She's coming along with me since she's trying to complete some kind of Pokemon League challenge or something. We figured my knowledge as a student would help her get stronger, and her strength as a trainer would help me gain knowledge, especially since we're going on this long ass journey away from home. That's all I got for this video. Hope you found it interesting. A big thank you to Captain Kobop, Art of Dying, Saint Starman, and Aster for supporting me on Patreon, and a big thank you to you for watching this far. My next Pokemon video will log what we learned on our way to a nursery, where we'll learn about the intricacies of Pokemon breeding. Bye!